few things, but not too much. So we know we get the 2 new dungeons. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I will try to go through them today. Some people, I haven't been in there yet. So it will be fun, if that's the right word. Unique item sets, undaunted mask, unique achievements, a player skin. Oh, it's this Wolfman skin. It doesn't look good. Memento, titles, and housing items. So there was a few, like there is 8 new sets. Moon Hunter, when your alchemical poison fires, increase your spell damage by 600 for 6 seconds. So this is actually quite a strong set for PvP. Because you could technically backbar it only. And put poisons on your backbar, and when it procs, you get 600 spell damage, and you probably keep them even on your front bar, where you can slot another set. Yeah, Firedova, I will create a dungeon guide, but first I need to go through them. Savage Werewolf, it's still light and heavy attacks. It's like 1000 physical damage, bleeding, every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. I still think that's quite weak. If it would tick every 1 second, that would be way better. Then we have Jailers. When you lose 7000 or more health from a single attack, you gain Major Vitality for 6 seconds, increasing your healing received by 30%. So they actually changed that set. It used to be 25% of your health. So they changed this. It's actually nice. It's a buff. It's definitely a buff. Vicosa, when you bash an enemy you have taunted, you frighten them with a deafening howl, applying Major Maim to them for 3 seconds, lowering their damage down by 30%. So Major Maim is really freaking rare, and you see it lasts only for 3 seconds, and the effect has a 15-second cooldown. However, it's actually nice, when you bash an enemy you have taunted. So you can taunt him, and when you know there is an insanely strong attack incoming, you bash. And you basically get 30% less damage. That's a lot. Hanu's Compassion. Kind of a Kakranax set. Kind of like... When you resurrect another player while in combat, you and the player gain Major Heroism for 15 seconds. Pretty cool. Obviously that only works if you run around in a Zerg, or if you have teammates that die every 10 seconds. Hey Goddess, how you doing? Hey William. So is Viper better? Yeah, I would say so. Viper definitely deals more damage. Yeah, Grey. Yeah. We will get to them later. Blood Moon. So this set actually got slightly nerfed. Because it used to be 50% extra light attack damage, and they reduced it to 30%. However, I tested on the PTS. It's still by far it's still the best set for a werewolf setup. I tested Twice Fanged Snake, and the Blood Moon actually did more overall DPS because light attacks are so strong. I do now have a werewolf PV build on my website. You can go check it out. The rotation is fairly complicated, so you might take a while to master it. No, it's just spamming light attacks, that's fucking it. Heaven of Ursus, when you take damage while you are under 50% health, you summon a spirit. And then you can activate it or somebody, and it gives you a shield. This might be nice, because you can activate the synergy by yourself. For Alcast, might actually be nice. Balorg, this is still a strong... This is actually like for a bomber build. I do also now have a bomber build on my website. Basically, you can save up to 500 ultimate points. When you activate the set, you get 1k weapon and spell damage. And this gets also modified by, for example, Major Sorcery or Major Brutality, right? And the extra spell damage already works on the ultimate, if I remember correctly, but we might actually test that at some point. With the Major Maim, do you think trial bosses might be immune to the fear or the hole? The trial bosses are definitely immune to the fear or the... Well, to the fear, yes. The hole will deal damage. Or what do you mean, Goddess? Balrog be any good in PvE? I don't think so. I mean, you really have to stack a lot of ultimate to actually make it worth, and it only lasts 10 seconds, so I don't think so. It's more of a PvP burst set or a bomber set. Will we be able to apply Major Maim? Yes, most likely, because you taunt, and then you bash, and then it should actually activate. I don't know, but I do think so, it will work, yes. There is a new Battlegrounds map, which might be cool. I'm a Battlegrounds fanboy. I mean, most of my PvP builds are set or optimized for Battlegrounds. And this is a quite interesting map. I think they changed. It's a semi-asymmetrical map that also allows players to mount. So this might be interesting. I will definitely do BGs. Gonna be interesting. Then we have Keep Recall Stones now. 20k AP for one. You cannot recall to a structure that is under attack. Or you can use them in caves. That's actually cool. They are account bound. Makes sense. You cannot recall stone. Okay. I'm sure there is some people that will find dirty tactics with those. Battleground outfit styles. I already did some videos on those. They actually look pretty damn sexy. AK Shera. Yeah, Balrog is unchanged. And you can already find all the updated sets on our website, guys. Keep that in mind. On the so-sets.com. It's all there. New PvP collectible. Oh yeah, we can farm a costume now. I still haven't even done the helmet yet. Jesus Christ. But this actually looks quite nice, the Gladiator costume. It's weird though that we get the Gladiator costume in Cyrodiil and not in the Battlegrounds. Respec system, I already did a video on that. You can now only respec, for example, 1-2 skills, but you still have to pay the full amount, okay? Red Rooster, the website is always more up to date. So make sure to check that out. The Fanged Horn helmet? No, that's another one. The Gladiator is a different. Velkinar style is now available from Cloudrest Trial. It's probably Worm, okay. If you can defeat Smarsha, you can earn Griffin Plumes by defeating Smarsha. More are earned by defeating her on harder difficulties, and she will not drop any plums unless fought on Vetter mode, okay. So you need... Griffin Plums is the style material, okay. We get 30 more champion points, like always. Oh, okay, Velkinar motive will become available in a future patch. I don't know why they keep doing that, it's so fucking dumb. Anyway. What's the point of paying like 10k to allocate 2 points? Well, I mean, when I reskill, I usually only have to reskill a few morphs or so on, so yeah. But yeah, I do get your point, obviously. I would have thought we only had to pay for the skills we actually changed, but that's sadly not the case. Blah blah blah, nobody cares. Adjusted to remove the possibility of pulling, porting, or leashing players into respawn, okay. Fur bosses, whatever. Oh, okay, here it gets interesting. Yeah, 7-8 is the new cap. Still need 25 proofs. Yeah. Yeah, so the Balrog set, I mean, it's really only good if you, like, when you enter a Battlegrounds maybe, or just before you go into a fight, you stack up your ulti, right? And then you actually hit really fucking hard. But obviously you have to wait for quite a long time to actually get to 500 ulti points again. There were a lot of changes in the jewelry crafting system. Added interaction text. Okay, sure. Whatever. Heavy sex will now have a chance to drop jewelry crafting dust instead of jewelry crafting ounces. Okay. Dramatically improve the value of artifact quality jewelry crafting master writs. And significantly increase the value of legendary quality jewelry crafting master writs. Okay. Roger. Added jewelry crafting materials to some blacksmithing resource nodes. Okay. Here, significantly reduce the amount of boosters needed to improve the quality of jewelry. So, I mean, better late than never, I guess. At the maximum rank of plating expertise, it now takes only a single piece of Terni plating to go from white to green, 2 from green to blue, 3 from blue to purple, and 4 from purple to gold. So that's a huge ass buff, right? Before you needed how many? 10 times the amount, or 2 times the amount? The new DLC probably 1.5k, and if you're so before it took 8 and now it takes 4, so it's basically cut in half. So that's a huge ass buff, or a nerf, however you want to call it. But it's actually nice. I mean, I don't know why the people QQ'd so fucking hard on the PTS that it's dumb to leave it so high, and now one patch later they do it. It's shit, like it should have been done on the, like when Somerset went live. Because now a lot of people probably wasted mats and they're gonna QQ so hard now. Yeah, Caliphs, you still have to pay the full price though, don't forget. Then, mates, Wet Gunny sucks. Sex? Not sucks. Yeah, whatever. Books, yeah, fishing, quests, whatever. Oh, so many quest fixes. Combat and ability, now it gets interesting. We have made numerous ability changes with the latest update. Some with global implications, while others are specific tweaks and quality of life changes. Some of our major goals with these changes include improving the werewolf gameplay and quality of life, Roger Dodger, reducing the duration of snare and defiles. Abilities and item sets that apply snares or defile debuffs on enemies have had their duration significantly. Why the fuck do they always why do they always use this word? Reduce. Since most of the changes were made to damage over time abilities, you will have to recast those abilities earlier to keep an enemy permanently snared, which sacrifices some damage. Most AoE snares were untouched, though since the counterplay is just to move out of the area of effect. Thank you, Robble, for your very detailed insight in gameplay mechanics. If it only was that easy, right? Increasing the viability of some older item sets. A few item sets have received some dramatic redesigns, while others were simply buffed to improve their usage. Roger Dodger. So if you wanna, I mean, we have already updated all the sets on our website. Go check them out if you want. I will post them in here later anyway. Just walk out, yes. Hey Moon 10, what up? What's that? There we go. My apologies if I missed something. Wolfhunter DLC is up and running. Really pretty damn fast. I just look at this. So, most area of effect snaring abilities were untouched, though, since the counterplay is just to move out of the area of effect. I'm sure Robble wrote this sentence. It must be. Increase the movement speed of all monsters summoned from your abilities and item sets by 25%. That's nice. That's actually a nice buff. A visual effect will now appear over your character head when using detection potions, Mage Light or Expert Hunter to notify other players of your ability to see sneaking invisible enemies. It's actually a good change, but kinda makes Cloak even stronger, I guess. How can you move out of a freaking snare? Yeah, I mean, the snare is applied by you instantly most of the time, so how the fuck are you supposed to move out of it? Decrease the range of two-handed, dual-wield, one-handed and shield, unarmed and werewolf heavy attacks to 7 meters from 10 meters. I really don't get why they always throw the motherfucking two-handed sword into the same bin as the other things. It's like, you know, the two-handed sword is like fucking huge, right? Dual-wield and one-handed weapons are like sticks. But apparently two-handed sword, which is like 5 times the size, it deals less damage and it has the same range. Like, why? Why, Zenimax? Why? Same with the werewolf heavy attack. He has fucking huge ass long hands or arms. Why is it the same range as a fucking toothpick? Fix an issue where casting certain self-target abilities such as spy, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is a good change. Moontime with the prime sub. Thank you very much, my friend. Hey, Mel. The slots, yeah, we will actually, maybe we're gonna check that out on the PTS, how it works now later. Werewolf with midget arms, like a fucking T-Rex, yeah. Can somebody make a picture, please? Like a werewolf with fucking T-Rex arms? You gonna be playing Wolfhunter DLC Moon 10? I've seen you play a lot of World of Warcraft lately. Yeah, guys, make sure to go check out Moon 10. He mostly PvPs on the NA server, PC. But he's very fun to watch, so definitely worth a watch. Make sure to go check it. Can somebody please shout him out? Now, enchantments now remember the weapon from which they were fired. This means if you fire a bow ability and weapon swap, when that bow ability deals damage, the enchantment on your bow will fire. So that's probably the biggest out of all changes for PvE. That's why on all our builds we have swapped enchantments. All my builds are already updated on my website, go check them out. I have made a separate YouTube video on that kind of subject if you're still confused. But yeah, that's why we changed enchantments, because of this small change. It's a good change, so it makes more sense now. Okay. Now. Yes, I will, but I hit 5 stars on my Nightblade and want to... Okay. Yeah, I've never played World of Warcraft, so I really don't fucking know what's going on there. Maelstrom bow is fixed? I don't know. You probably still have to make sure that the first initial hit actually is on the bow bar, otherwise it won't proc. But we can test that later on. World of Ruin. This ability now also increases the damage over time component of Fiery Breath and its morphs. Thank you very much for that tiny buff. Warmth. This ability now only snares targets when you deal direct damage with an Ardent Flame ability. It's still the same basically, because like when you look at Fiery Breath and Burning Embers or Venomous Claw, the first hit is always a direct hit, right? So yeah, it will still apply. Decrease the duration of the snare to 3 seconds. From 4 seconds, okay. Whatever. Reflective Scale, Reflective Play. This ability now also grants 2 seconds of immunity to snare and immobilization effects. That's actually nice. It should have been like that in the Somerset. That should have been like that in the Somerset patch already. So it makes it definitely... Because Reflective Play, it costs a lot of magicka. And it just removed the snares. And if you already stood in a snare AoE, you just got immediately snared again. Maybe I should learn to play, because Robble told me to just simply move out of it. Cactus. Can you make a bow nightblade build? Yeah, I can. I still want to do so many builds on the website, but Jesus Christ, dude, I just don't have enough time. I barely got the PV werewolf build ready. Okay, Deathstroke. This ability now only stuns if you have 120 ultimate or more. Basically, can use a fucking Dawnbreaker at that point. To visually show its readiness state, the icon will change to a recolored version and the animation of the cast will change. Okay, so the damage increase and all that stuff, you can still use it as 70 ultimate points. And like Moontan previously mentioned, usually when you're in stealth, you can start out with a surprise attack and stun the enemy out of stealth anyway, and then use the in-cap strike, right? So nobody gives a shit about this change, unless you were a dude that did a heavy attack into an in-cap. That's the other thing. Aka Esnigmia, thank you for the prime sub, 2 months resub. And Goddess with a gifted sub to Adivinere Suriron. No, I don't know what's that name. Adivin Survivor. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, Goddess. But the Templar needs to stay in their home. Damn. All those problems. When you're stunned and can't move, then make sure to move out of it. Okay, Merciless Resolve. Remove the snare from this ability. Sure, why not? It's too easy to get snares applied, in my opinion, anyway. They also reduce the snare here. Okay. Cripple, decrease the duration of the snare and the major expedition buff from this ability, and it's morphs to 4 seconds. Okay, makes sense. 4 seconds, still more than enough. I think they tried to nerf the PvE mobility a little bit, but it's still more than enough anyway. Because you have to stay in the pot. Ah, no, that's cripple. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. For PvP, it's definitely a small nerf, but then again, just fucking those snares, man. Dark Magic, Rune Prison. Decrease the duration of the stun applied by this ability morphs to 3.5 seconds from 5 seconds. Okay. This ability and its morphs can now be dodged. Okay. Decrease the damage done from this ability by approximately 20%. This ability now only deals damage if the stun lasts for the full duration. So in my... Oh, let's read the developer comment. We have more changes planned for this ability in a future patch that will improve the messaging of when the stun will apply. So they completely missed the point why Rune Cage is so strong, or Rune Prison in general. First off, it's a delayed attack, and Zorks can already line up a huge burst combo. And secondly, I think in Cyrodiil you have 48 meters. 48 meters because of that, so... Like, when you look at Fossilize, it's the same thing. But it only has like 8 meters range. But Rune Cage is not... Like, you can place 28 meters is the normal range, and in Cyrodiil 48 meters is so dumb. So they didn't even understand why this ability is so strong. Anyway, let's move on. Storm Calling, fix an issue where dodge rolling this ability and its morphs would still apply the execute explosion. Okay. Fix an issue where the heavy attack from this ability and its morphs could not proc weapon and chance. Sure. Is there a goat build? Not yet. I really wish that DK buff also applied to standard. Yeah. Yeah, the dodge roll thing, it's dumb. But yeah, like I said, they didn't even understand why the ability is so strong. 41 meters, okay, yeah, not 48. So 28 meters normal range and 48 meters, 41 meters in Cyrodiil, okay. Then we have, okay, Templar. Jesus Beam got buffed from 330% to 480. That's quite significant. increase actually. So we might actually see people using beam in PV again. Once again, the big problem is still light attacks do so much freaking damage. Like completely broken damage in PvE. All channeled abilities basically make you lose DPS because you cannot weave light attacks in between. When we look at the Nightblade, Impale or Killer's Blade, you have like it hits like a freaking truck, and you deal light attack between each weave. So that's like 80 to 100k damage in every second, right? But with Jesus Beam, you have a channel. You cannot do light attacks. So you miss those juicy ass 40k light attacks. And that's the problem with those skills. So I'm still not sure if it's really worth using. But obviously it will deal a lot more damage in PvP now. Solar Flare, decrease the duration of the Major Defile. Sure. Barrage, remove the cast time from this ability and decrease the damage done by 40%. So removing the cast time makes sense. It just felt really out of place. So it's actually a good change. But why the fuck nerf the damage, bro? I don't get it. It would have been a nice ability, but now I don't think. Maybe it's worth using, maybe not. We will see. I don't think so. Just spam elemental weapon and you're Gucci. Temple will spam the beam at full health, yeah. It's the best taunt in the game. It's the only taunt that works in PvP. Jesus Beam. It will definitely work better now again. Decrease the duration of the snare from this ability and it's morphed to 3 seconds from 9 seconds. That's okay. Healing Ritual. Fix an issue where you could dodge the secondary heal, okay. Rune Focus. So I already heard QQ. This ability and its morphs now apply Major War, Major Resolve and all morph effects to you directly for 20 seconds. So that's a huge ass buff. Standing within the area of effect now increases the Major War and Major Resolve effect by 50 freaking %. Damn, that's juicy. Channeled Focus. Increase the cost of this ability to 1891. Yeah. The new design of Rune Focus more closely matches the fast action combat while still preserving the original feel of an area of protection. Okay, sure. They took that away, the cost increase in the last PTS, so I don't know why they put it back in again. And yeah, this is obviously a huge buff. PV tanks will love this. I mean, it's basically a 50% free increase of resistance. And this here, so it actually sticks to you for 20 seconds. And they also think they increased the duration. It used to be 18 seconds, now it's 20. So that's a good change. Fast action combat, it's a circle, yeah. Bye-bye then off. Don't get lost. Apparently the cost increase is a typo from what some people have said. Yeah, I also thought like they probably just forgot to take that out, I think. So we will see in game when we go there. I will probably do separate videos on the changes because I'm not gonna do build videos this patch, so I just want to kind of reflect on the changes per each class, what happened actually. So we will see in game how that affects it. Yeah, other than that, I like the change. I'm not sure if that was necessary because it makes it quite fucking strong for 1k Magicka, if it's still that cheap. Wardens. Cliff Racer. Fix an issue where casting this ability would not orient your character to face the target. Arctic Wind. Increase the initial heal from this ability and it morphs to 15% of your max health from 12%. Okay, Gucci. Really, they really should have focused a little bit more on Warden. Like, overall, there was not... It looks like a lot of fixes or like changes, but it's really not a lot. It's really not a lot. And I think they called this the balance update. It's fucking definitely not. One hand and shield, power bash. Decrease the duration of Major Defile. The reverb bash, okay, makes sense. The patch exclamation mark patch notes or patch or something. Two-handed. Yeah, whatever. They reduce the snare on flying blade, nice. Decrease the duration of snare on rending slashes, good. Pulsar. Fix an issue where this ability was only applying minor mangle, okay, to one target. Arrow spray, decrease the duration of the snare applied from this enemy, from this ability. Okay, sure. Scatter shot. That was finally. I really hope this is fixed. Leader arrow deleted the ability. No. Decrease the duration of the major defile debuff applied to 4 seconds. Okay, that's good. Too strong already. Morgan. The cost of channel focus is a typo. Okay, Falcons. Okay, that's good to know. So, this is a typo here. Where the fuck is it? It's still 1k, so that's good. That's actually really nice change. So channeled focus, very Gucci now. Vampires. Curing Vampirism will now refund all skill points that are invested in the skill line. Thank you, Zenimax. Only took 4 years. Werewolf. Hello, Honey Bear. There were a significant number of changes made to werewolves this update. Some of the changes were made to improve the quality of life with leveling and maintaining the form, while others open up new gameplay possibilities. Yeah, Morgan, that's true. Snipe spammers spam the shit anyway, so whatever. First, you will find leveling and maintaining your werewolf is now considerably easier. The Devour or Devour passive, like I call it, is now granted automatically from the very start, so you can sustain the form better at lower levels before you have unlocked all other skills. That's nice, thank you. We have also reduced the experience requirements to morph all skills. Yes, that's nice. Yeah, the update is out. Second, you will be able to do more core combat actions as a werewolf, such as resurrecting your allies or using synergies. Werewolves will have a much easier time engaging in group content now that they can help their friends more effectively. This, coupled with some other changes such as the Blood Rage passive triggering on damage dealt instead of damage taken, means they can be more viable in group PvE. Yes, that is 100% correct. Finally, many morphs and abilities were changed to improve the cohesiveness of the werewolf kit. Some combos and effects that weren't very effective have been removed, while others were tweaked to better support the fast and ferocious playstyle of the werewolf. As an example, we removed the stun from Pounce and Piercing Hole, which totally sucks, but dramatically improved Roar by making it instant cast, fear more targets, and have more competitive morph effects. They shouldn't have removed both stuns, one would have been enough, but okay. You can now resurrect other players while transformed. This is especially funny on a Templar, because on a Templar you have increased resurrection speed, right? So you can rest people faster now. You can now use synergy abilities while transformed. You will use a unique werewolf themed animation instead of the synergy's usual animation. Interesting, I haven't seen that yet. You can now use siege weapons while transformed. Why? 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 Yeah, the Solar Barrage is a good change in terms of the instant cast, but they shouldn't have reduced the damage by that much. Lord Termy, hello! So Templar mostly got buffs actually. How's the Mystic build doing DPS wise? Well, about the same as the previous update. And thank you for the cheers. It's about the same. It still has shitty ass sustain. I will probably also do a separate video on the class rep program, how it impacted changes, if it did at all. Yeah, Goddess, it's gonna be fucking hilarious. We could actually try that. There's so much stuff to try. Your werewolf time will no longer tick down while you are reviving in place while transformed. Thank you. Updated the tooltip of this ability and its morphs to better describe all additional effects. Nice. Because it was never written that you get 30% extra stem. Obviously, if you want to check out my werewolf my woof guide, it's all there. You will know what kind of effects are active in werewolf form and so on.
Too strong.
So make sure to check it out.
Boy.
Goddess with another gifted sub to Stellar Bane. Thank you very much. That's a lot of gifted subs. Much appreciated. Okay, let's move on. Blah blah blah. Fixed an issue where ranking up this ability in its morphs would transform you out of werewolf. Okay, that's nice that they fixed that. It was fucking annoying. This ability and its morphs no longer increase your movement speed or spell physical resistance. These bonuses have been moved to passive abilities. That is great. Pack Leader. There was a bunch of changes to the dire wolves. They actually deal really good damage now. More than the Berserker in PvE, for example. Blood Rage. This ability now increases the timer of your werewolf transformation when you deal damage rather than when you take damage. It adds 4 seconds to your timer with a 5-second cooldown. I don't know why they didn't leave the take damage in. I mean, it could have said when you deal damage or take damage. Kinda weird. ATX Robert, hello. There weren't a lot of class changes in my opinion. On a Zork, yeah, you can dodge roll Rune Cage now, but yeah, you know, kinda weird. Whatever. Hircin's Bounty, so this here is this ability and its morphs now heal based on your max health. Hircin's Bounty and Hircin's Rage heal for 45% of your max health, while Hircin's 40 heal for 60%. So we will be seeing like 30-40k heals in PvP and probably like 100k crit heals in PvE if you really want to. Like I do have a Warden Wolf PvP build on like a Warden, obviously. I have like 30k health or 36k and like you cannot fucking kill me. In a 1v1 or 2v1 you're not going down. I have Troll King on, I have huge ass health recovery. And I get like 20-25k crit heals. Like, how do you want to kill me? And Prisoner's Rag, so you always have fucking sustain on Magicka. Then Infectious Claws. Okay, they gave a new animation, that's nice. Piercing Hole. This ability and its morphs no longer stun the target. I really dislike that. Because usually when an enemy was running away from a werewolf, you used Piercing Hole because it had a longer range to stun them, to knock them down. You can't do that anymore. And the cost decrease, nice. Okay. Howl of Despair. The synergy now grants the ally empower for all light attacks for 5 seconds. That, like, I'm telling you, in PvE, this is gonna be so fucking strong. If you have 2-3 werewolves, and they keep proccing the synergy of this. And the werewolf light attacks already deal a freaking dumb amount of damage. You probably, if you actually have this active, you can do like 55-60k DPS on a target dummy. You should actually test it later. Maybe even more. Because we don't even have Fracture applied. Should test it out. Pounce. This also doesn't stun anymore. That sucks. Pursuit. This ability now also increases your movement speed by 30%. Nice. I mean, it was before in the ultimate itself. Roar got buffs. Instant cast. This is nice. It makes it very freaking powerful. It's basically a fear. But it actually fears 6 targets and not 3. And Ferocious Roar, this morph now sets feared targets off balance. So really strong. And Rousing Roar applies Major Fracture for 10 seconds. So this is pretty damn good. Savage Strength is a passive. Now gives 10,000 spell and physical resistance. Previously from the ultimate. Yeah. You will also refund all the skill points now when you cleanse Lycanthropy. But why should you do that this patch? Yeah, so overall, a lot of buffs to Werewolf. Still, in PvP, you might see more, but keep in mind, I have a lot of anti-Werewolf builds on my website now, and just in general, you're twice as big as any other player. everybody will focus you. So we will see. In Battlegrounds, they actually might be really fucking strong. PvE, we will definitely see more, because like you have seen, 50k DPS, 55k DPS, maybe even 60k DPS is possible on target dummies. So even more in raids. I will actually experiment around in trials with Werewolf, we will see. Then fighter skill, they also decrease the snare. Roger Dodger, makes sense. Imbue weapon, fixed, nobody cares. Oh wait. Fixed initializer and its morphs were removing you from sneak when cast. Okay. Did it? Can't remember. Alliance War, the ability and its morphs now reduce the damage you take from siege attacks by 50%, originally 35%. Okay. Siege weapon still deals so much fucking damage. But yeah. What they do to mech DK? They buff the reflective plate. That's about it. Yeah. Okay, whatever. General siege weapon damage and effects will no longer proc item sets. Finally, it should have never. I think it was a bug. Took them only 4 years to fix. Great. And now they added the 1 second cooldown to Relic. And now, as a human player, you will see no difference in DPS. It was just because of the new Werewolf set. You could, because of the new Werewolf Blood Moon set, you could stack it up faster. But yeah, it doesn't change anything. Then Crest of Cyrodiil, it got completely changed. After successfully blocking, heal for 8k. It has a 5 second cooldown. Not too bad, I guess. Durocs, when you take damage, you apply major defile to the attacker for 4 seconds, reducing their healing received and health recovery by 30%. 8 seconds cooldown, so you can get a 50% uptime. Before you had 100% uptime, so that's quite a huge nerf, but a good nerf. Because that set was way too strong. And Elfbane now increases the damage over time effect, or the damage from Grofdar, which is cool, thank you. Siege meatbags will do even more damage now in CP, yeah. They increase the damage of sieges and stuff, it's fucking hell. Hatchling's shell. Gain a damage shield equal to 20% of your max health for 15 seconds. It's still useless, I mean. Whatever. Light of Cyrodiil. While you are casting or channeling an ability, your damage taken is reduced by 15%. When you are interrupted, your next magic ability will cause no magicka. That's actually pretty cool, I guess. Ropes of the Hist. While you're affected by a disabling effect, immobilization or snare, you heal for 2.5k health every 1 second. It's actually not too bad, eh? Actually pretty cool. Those sets are already updated on our ESO sets website. So if you want to go check them out, jump on there. Sloats. So it looks like a lot of nerfs. But the only thing they changed is they reduced the damage. It's still way too strong. And you can now dodge roll the proc if I remember correctly. Yes. It's still... they just listed it up so it looks like a lot of nerfs, but it's really not. Swamp Raider adds 400 weapon damage to your poison and disease damage abilities. Okay. It's about the same as this, but it's easier to apply now. This here was really weird. Tremor scale, they decreased the snare by a second, sure. Ward of Cyrodiil. They took away the mount speed, which triggered a lot of people, including me. When you deal damage, you apply major defile to the enemy for 3 seconds, reducing their healing received and health recovery by 30%. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds. Okay. Sure. Wizard's Post. When you take direct critical damage, you apply minor maim to the enemy for 5 seconds, reducing their damage done by 15%. So this here was too strong, right? You just could take critical damage from any source and it would actually proc on the enemy. Now it needs to be direct. Still quite strong in my opinion. There's no cooldown on it, so it's still pretty good actually. But yeah, still. Direct damage, critical damage is obviously harder to apply. And they reduce the range of Zaan's beam to break, which is also cool. In-game it says another change to slows. Damaging an enemy has a 10% chance to put a leeching shadow on them, dealing 853 oblivion damage every 1 second for 6 seconds. Ah, it's the cooldown thing you mean, eh? Yeah, rip the mount speed, dude. Fix an issue where the cooldown reduction was applying to both of your weapon enchantments if you were dual wielding. Yeah, that's fixed, but it doesn't really matter. All the enchantments changed on the PV builds anyway. The traits are more or less the same, except on the back bar you now run infused on the bow. Players who queue for Cyrodiil while grouped will now independently enter Cyrodiil on their own individual queue. Okay, this means a group that queues for Cyrodiil can have members in Cyrodiil and other zones as their group transitions. Okay. Delph bosses in Cyrodiil now spawn like other Delphs in Temria. Whatever that means. What do you mean about Major Defile? Nah, Transistor. Well, technic. Still not, no. You still won't learn with either a disease or absorb stamina enchant on the main hand, and on the offhand infused weapon damage enchant. Can somebody link the patch? Yeah, there we patch notes thread thingy. So whatever. Healing medals in team deathmatch now contribute more scoring value towards the end of game scoreboard. Okay, yeah, healers had a hard time there. You can no longer cast undo to get into starting locations. Okay. Battlegrounds will now shut down due to the population failing below 2 players on 2 separate teams instead of 1 team. Okay. Sure. It's so annoying when you get queued into, or like when you get into a fight because one dude rage quit and you get in there and you will lose anyway. It's like so fucking dumb. Keeps now have 2 levels per resource material instead of 5. Resources now have 1 level for defensive upgrades and 1 level for production. Okay. Keep once again have degrade turned back on. However, the degrade rate is much faster. Keep can lose a resource level in about 5 minutes instead of an hour. By reintroducing degrade and condensing the level of keeps and resources, we believe the war in Cyrodiil will offer more options for players in small groups or solo to contribute in a meaningful way. This returns keeps and resources to their intended interplay as a full entity instead of a disparate beachheads surrounding a keep. Okay. Okay. Dracelaw, Dranclaw and Brindle now offer an 8% AP bonus per keep health. Cool. Keep bonus now give increased AP, XP, gold, spell crit and weapon crit for every level of ownership instead of every other bonus. The Siege Masters of Vivek and Shore have learned from their counterparts in Sol-Facil, and all siege weapons will be more effective against players in champion-enabled campaigns. The siege weapons deal so much freaking damage. I really like... It's way too much in my opinion. The damage effect from scatter shots, oil pots and meat bay will now last 4.5 seconds. Sure. Okay, that's more or less it, I guess, huh? That's quite a lot of changes. Here, mud balls can no longer be thrown at players who are performing interactions. RIP. Roni pepperoni. Daily rewards, gamepad mode, gameplay, help, housing. Ah. Okay, okay. So it's definitely not a bad thing. I mean, overall, most of the changes they made make sense. Apart from a few small changes. I still do not think it's enough, in my opinion. Like they said it will be. Give me a sec.